Welcome to another Aluvian Gaming game review. Today we explore the galaxy in No Man's Sky Next. No Man's Sky is a procedurally generated space exploration game made by Hello Games. Because it's procedurally generated, no two planets or systems are the same, and the galaxy, for the most part, is infinite. But before I get any further, a quick background on the game. No Man's Sky came out in August of 2016 to a lot of hype and made a lot of promises, delivering on very few. After a disappointing failure to launch, Hello Games has been relatively quiet about the game, releasing updates and features that have culminated in the latest mega patch they're calling Next. Since I'd never played No Man's Sky previously, I'm not going to point out all the new features and compare them to how the game was. Instead, I'm reviewing the game as it stands now. The game starts off by dumping you on a planet. No ship, no instruction, no clue. Then it tells you that your scanner is broken and you need ferrite to fix it. It's also telling you your suit's protection from the planet's environment is almost out. As you attempt to remedy those issues, you find there are police-like sentinel bots that get upset and attack you if they see you doing, well, anything. None of this would be a problem, really, if you already knew what to do, but starting you out lost, clueless, and in peril is rather frustrating. So for me, my first introduction to the game is literally running around frantically, watching as I repair my broken scanner, only to quickly die on some toxic, unknown planet, alone and confused. It definitely gets better once you familiarize yourself with the game's systems and mechanics, but it's still a very unwelcoming introduction to the game. But No Man's Sky is all about exploration, and maybe figuring it all out is part of that. As I said before, it's a procedurally generated universe. Every planet is different, the flora, the fauna, the minerals you find, and that really can fill you with wonder, at least for a time. Each new planet is an opportunity to explore and find cool things. The gameplay centers around you setting down on a planet, and then scanning everything you see and mining resources with a very slow laser. All the while, being nagged constantly by your suit's computer that its protection to whatever the planet's hazard is falling. To recharge it, you only need one element regardless of the hazard. Whether the planet is hot, cold, irradiated, or toxic, it's always sodium. You quickly realize that though things look different, underneath it's all the same. Ultimately, it comes down to finding oxygen for life support, sodium for protection from the elements, running from the sentinel bots, and then whatever else you may want to do before moving on to the next one. It's not that this gameplay loop was unfun, but it did start to get boring after a while, especially with each planet only containing a single biome. So once you've spent 15 minutes or so on it, you've pretty much seen it all. To add to that, each system has a space station that functions as a quest and trade hub. Each station, externally, is stylized after whichever alien race is dominant in that system. However, once you go inside, you realize that all the space stations are identical, save a table here or there. Same materials, same layout, the exact same. They're populated by the appropriate race, but the inhabitants stand around static, hardly moving at all unless you get near them. It's a station full of mannequins. It gives the game a lifeless and artificial feeling that really detracts from the game's theme of discovery. As with most exploration games, inventory management is a big part of it, and it really is a chore in No Man's Sky. You spend quite a bit of time moving things around, always wishing you had more space. The inventory system would really benefit by a few quality of life changes to make it less fiddly. You cannot swap items by setting something down on another spot. You have to move them one by one and must always have at least one free spot to do so. If you want to craft something, you need to have a free spot for it, even if its components would have been consumed in the process. So an item that takes, say, 3 crafted components to assemble, technically needs 4 slots to actually make. These are most certainly small, nitpicky things, but they add up while playing because you're doing them so frequently. The controls themselves were average to annoying. Running around the planets and using the jetpack felt pretty good, if not a little slow, and piloting your ship seems to differ based on ship type and modifications, which is understandable. You start the game off in third-person mode, but can also play in first-person, though the game never really tells you that. Aiming the targeting reticle feels a bit stiff, and could really benefit from some smoothing or acceleration. Speaking of, the reticle changes location when going from in and out of your scanner. So, say you're about to mine something with your laser and you see it needs to be scanned. You switch to your scanner, and it's about an inch off to the left of what you just had your crosshairs on. So you move it over, scan your target, and exit the scanner. Now your laser crosshair is off the target again, but to the right. So yet again you have to move it back to the left. It doesn't really make sense why it's like this, and makes one of the most common actions you take during the game way more tedious than it needs to be. Heck, just turning on your flashlight requires 7 inputs. 7! When most games make such a trivial task require only 1. One of my favorite parts of the game was the different spaceship designs. Ships come in different classes like fighter or hauler, but each class also has a multitude of designs and even higher end versions of those designs with more space, bigger engines, or extra guns. Combined with different color variations, it wasn't too often that you'd come across the exact same ship. The main way to upgrade your ship was by trading with aliens. Usually you'd barter with them, and they'd give you a certain amount for your existing ship, and you'd pay the difference with credits earned from missions or selling resources. Later on in the game, I saved up and bought a much larger and naturally cooler ship. I was really excited, but that excitement was short-lived because I quickly realized you have to manually transfer your current ship's inventory, item by item, into the ship you're buying before you buy it. Otherwise, the inventory is lost to the previous ship you traded for the new one. So there I sat, shiny new ship, empty pockets, and an empty cargo hold. That's bad design. No Man's Sky also allows you to build bases on different planets you discover. I actually really enjoyed doing it. However, it seemed like doing so was completely at odds with what the game wanted me to do, which was to keep moving and discover new stuff. But if you find building your own planetary outpost appealing, it really is a nice feature. Unfortunately, the game as a whole, on PS4 at least, was extremely buggy. The quest text frequently would display very incorrectly. The audio would hang up every time you entered or exited Atmo, and the frame rate would struggle to remain constant. At one point, I was inside a freighter picking up a quest. Then, either the freighter disappeared or I fell through it, causing me to fall through space until I died of exposure, dropping my inventory. Furthermore, some planets were rendered absolutely unexplorable due to the game crashing if I stayed there longer than 30 seconds or so. As annoying as that was, it was compounded by a major quest objective being located there, so it couldn't be avoided. Ultimately, No Man's Sky is a game that has a lot of potential, but it also has its share of problems. There's definitely fun to be had here if you're into exploration and discovery, but it's certainly not for everyone. I rate No Man's Sky Next a 6 out of 10. It's a flawed game that, with a few tweaks and improvements, could really shine. So with the influx of new and returning players, I hope Hello Games is encouraged to continue working to realize their vision. Until then, I'll see you among the stars.